Alrighty, what is going on, my fellow Marvel Rivals gamers? It's your boy Apxche, Coach Apxche, and today we're doing a Platinum VOD review for a Groot gamer, our boy Invader Zim. Shout out to that show. That was a great show. I'm sad they canceled it. But without further ado, we're going to get into the VOD review. Quick little talk about the abilities. If you already know this stuff, you can skip past it, right? Basically, grenade, small walls, big walls. Your grenade, you throw a little cluster grenade. It'll impact, explode, and then throw out little ones after, and do additional damage, right? That's just for damage at range. Your primary fire is going to be little arms. You're going to extend them, extendo arms. I'm pretty sure they're hit scan. I don't freaking know, but since they come out of like left hand, right hand, I think the crosshair doesn't show exactly where you're supposed to aim. So depending on which arm you're throwing, you probably have to aim a little bit to the left of the crosshair versus a little bit to the right. The right arm, right side, left arm, left side, right? With that being said, um, small walls are going to be really good for giving you cover, but not great cover, as well as throwing them behind enemies. And then since they will do damage, and then your big wall, same thing. It's going to be a little bit better for cover, and even greater for blocking off enemies, right? But then both of these have passives. So when you're within the range of those walls, the little ones, when you attack an enemy that's near them, they will attack them. Or if your teammates attack enemies that are near them, as long as you know you're within the radius and they're active, they will attack them. So sometimes you can throw walls behind people, and even though you're not hitting them, if your teammate's hitting them, it'll activate them. A lot of damage, right? Your big wall, instead of doing damage, it'll generate shield, right? So sometimes you can just put it in a safe place if you want to just shield. If not, you can use it to wall people off, like we said before. But that's basically about it. And then your ult's gonna be an AOE pool that you throw, and then once it hits, it'll suck anybody in that is nearby. That against you put in this wall here. I'm a weirdo. I like to throw like a little wall first and then my big wall because I usually can manage with two walls. And that just makes it even harder for them to break my big wall because once they break this, I'm a lot more vulnerable. So me personally, I'll put a little one first, then a big one, so then they have to break them both to get through. But you are playing kind of an off-tanky style here. You're denying this right side while you want to play this room. But when we look at your teammates, we got someone high ground. So me personally, if you're in comms, you can always tell your strange, hey, can you play up here and enable them more with the shield and stuff, and then let me play the main lane. We're in platinum, so there are no bans, so we have to be careful for things like Bucky, for Wolverine. So I do like kind of playing this room because once the card gets here, you can kind of just play these short ranges. But just keep in mind that if you're not going to get the appropriate help, that things like Wolverine can run at you, right? So we want to be mindful of that. So as we're out here, we're looking at seeing what their comp has. We hear a Psylocke. We can hear a Moon Knight, right? We're just looking around, seeing what they're having, so that we know how to kind of play around it. They also have, I believe, two healers that heal with their primary fire here. So what I would try to do here is, I definitely wouldn't mind picking up my wall and trying to use it in a fight here. Why? Because if you can wall off, not only if you can wall off this guy, but if you can even put it straight and kind of angle it, not only can you contest the card, but you can deny this guy from hitting you, right? Because right now, if you just kind of sit here, you're going to be a free onk for the Moon Knight. Any shot that hits you is going to hit your teammates, and you don't want that. And like we said, both their healers do heal by shooting their teammates, so by walling them off, they can't heal them. Yeah. It's very hectic. Somebody already got through, though. I think you heard it. So I personally know the Moon Knight's right side, so I just won't be peeking. I will just be fighting from here, due to the fact that I don't need to be in the open, as well as from here, my teammates should still see me. And on top of that, just like, I don't want to give the Moon Knight free ult charge to just throw an ult into my back line. There it is, and you're backing up into it, and you're dead. Right, so and it's funny because that's literally exactly what I said, but he just didn't throw it on the back line, he threw it on top of you, right? Which he could have still thrown it on you in here, but like, it does the same thing. I'll just say right now, you're not respecting the Moon Knight. You're letting him hit you for free. It's bouncing off you, hitting your other tank, maybe your other DPS. It's giving him a lot of ult charge, and he's just gonna dump his ult, right? So just you gotta take less damage, man. Take less damage. Feed their ults less. When you're marked when you're like purple like that, you gotta really be careful because you take more damage, right? So gotta make sure we're respecting the enemy when we're vulnerable like that. You're down to support, so I would just back up. You're probably gonna lose this checkpoint here. Yeah, just die. Your ultimate does tick damage, so not only does it pull them in, but it does damage every other second. So by throwing your ult on somebody and having a wall nearby, the wall will continuously attack them, even if they have their shield up, right? So a lot of times as a Groot, you want to like throw your ult in a position where it pulls them close to your wall, or throw a wall down and ult into it, or just place one after you ult. And no matter how you do it, but it just basically makes it so your ult always gets value. That guy's overextended, low key. You could probably fight him with your team here. If you don't, he's probably gonna just, farm you for his rubber elasticity charge, and then, oh my gosh, nobody knows he's back there. That is not good. Because once he gets big, he's kind of annoying to deal with for DPS, and I think he's doing that right now. Yeah, the Moon Knight ult. Nice. Well, I would definitely say, like, I would have looked for an ult that fight, especially if I knew my Moon Knight had ult. So I definitely would, if you're communicating, try to communicate, hey, let's combo. And then as you throw your ult, he'll throw his. Nice little way. Oh, brother, there's... Brother. You just solo ulted Hylock. The fight's over. Ay, that is not a good ult. Oh. Yeah, so you want to be when you're ulting, you want to be getting, in my opinion, 2 to 3 minimum. If we're in a fight, right, and you get one like a full fight, that's cool. But like for the most part, your goal should always to be getting 2, 3 minimum with your ult. Right? Solo ulting someone, it's rough. It really depends on how the fight's going and if who you're getting. Because if you're getting a support, but that's not a good ult there. That was a waste of an ult. And then with that being said, like we need to be taking space, right? So I'm trying not to make it too complicated for you because I know you're still in plat, but I think this is nothing too crazy. But so think of it this way, right? So this is a choke, right? So we want to take fights in chokes. So this is a choke, this is a choke, right? And then all the space in between, right? We're gonna call this the void, right? It's like this is what my boy Demetrius Johnson, he's an MMA fighter, he explains, right? So basically, this fight is like neutral space, right? So when you fight here, basically you're fighting for all of this. Oh my gosh, it's still in square. You're fighting for all of this control, right? So since you won a fight at this choke, what does that mean? That enables you to walk up to this choke, right? So why not, right? If you can walk up and now take a fight in this area now, instead of you letting them walk back from spawn and just get all the space for free and take the fight here, you can position yourself with people on high ground, right? People in on the corners, and now they have to fight you here. And if they win, you at least guarantee yourself one more fight around here. And then if you win, you can take another fight here. And then if you win, you can take another fight back up here, right? The point I'm trying to make is you always want to be taking fights at chokes. And then when you win that fight, it allows you to advance up. Sometimes you can't. Like if the fight wasn't clean enough and they're coming back and they're going to be back before you can set up correctly, you probably just chill, right? But if I'm you, which they should want to do, I'd want to walk up. I'd want to walk up for sure. And it looks like you guys are kind of doing it here. But you're a little hesitant. It's only 2, 3 guys. Like you guys have to walk up here. If they don't respect you and they keep playing here, like they're asking to get eliminated, right? Like that. This is not safe for them. Not safe for them at all. But he seems to be portaling. I guess that could be a fear of, oh, like they might portal behind us. But if you have high ground at least, what are they gonna do? They portal on high, like as a tank, you can chill on high ground. If they portal, right, you're there to fight them already. If they portal behind you, they have to fight you with high ground. You know what I'm saying? So, with the portal, you could definitely probably chill high ground. But if you start high ground and they're walking up, you can walk up to the corner and fight from the corner. See how this plays out. But yeah, so like I said, they portal onto a point. He's ulting. He's gonna hit you. Oh, actually no, she got shielded off. Ah, yes. Oh, melee, melee, melee. Okay, remember, melees go through shield, right? So right here, a good thing you could do is throw a wall behind him and start punching him. Yeah, so right now, I would just focus on walling off this Strange, right? And then, okay, this is another thing too, but we grew. I mean, you probably know this, but we're gonna just make a little diagram, right? So, Groot. Oh my gosh, I hate when it's so slow, but we're Groot, right? Very happy. When you throw down a wall, right? You can throw down one wall. But if you hold in the button that you're going to throw it down and you look to the right, you can actually place more than one wall, right? So if I place this and hold it, don't let it go, right? I could technically throw both my walls up, right? So to make the wall longer, I'm doing a ramp and I hold it, right? I can technically do two at a time. They will still build it individually, but you can place them at the same time, right? So in moments like that, you can use the small walls to create a big wall, right? To kind of block people off. Right there, I would really focus on trying to block off the Strange, so that I could just keep meleeing through his shield, and then the wall's gonna do the damage for me. We not have. So that's not. I wouldn't say that's on you. Your cloak is super late. She's also super far back as well, for how forward her tanks were. With better supports, they'll probably be closer to you, because it is kind of sucky that she's so far, so late to respond with that ult. Like that ult's like literally super late. So, when it comes to playing up, I wouldn't say like I don't like the play you were trying to make because technically your team should be helping you there. So I'm not going to tell you not to do that because it's a good play. And as you get better, as your teammates get better, that play will get rewarded more. Aggression is definitely a good thing. I don't want you to feel like you have to be scared, be passive, because people like this don't know how to ult at the correct time. So yeah, so hopefully y'all will get another fight. I don't know if it will happen. You do have a Strange, but I don't think he's a portal. You're coming out here. You're going to be down as support, which is rough. But you have somebody to help you, right? Oh, are we going to touch here? So I don't know. I think if your Strange is trying to touch here, you got to go with him. Even if you're getting purpled here, like if one's going to die, you might as well all die. I don't know if you can really, if you, what, did I just see past the mask? What in the world? I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to hold them now at this corner with just y'all. You're gonna have to back up anyways, right? So it's like, why not, have fought as a team and died there and then backed up if you're gonna have to back up anyways if you lose one. Like as you can see, you can't hold it, so you're gonna have to back up anyways. So it probably would have just been better to just try to fight with the Strange and hopefully pull something out. But yeah. So right now, what you're doing right now is stalling. I mean, not stalling, staggering. You had a teammate who died, so you had a choice or who was going to die, so you need to either walk in with him or back up. And then now you're staggered, you die. Now he's gonna stagger. Now he's dead, right? So every time somebody dies, it's just adding on to the timer of when y'all can take a fight. Because now you're back, but you can't really fight because you're still waiting for your next teammates, right? So we got to be mindful of when people are dying and when that means we just need to die. I know it seems like, oh, it's so bad to die, but sometimes you have to just for the sake of fighting as a team, right? As you could see, your Strange died. So that's 12 seconds you guys can't realistically can't take a fight because why would you take a 5v6, right? You guys are backing up, but you're not backing up fast enough. So then now you die, right? So now that's 12 more seconds y'all can't fight, and now it's a 4v6 for a few seconds. But now Strange comes back, so now it's back to a 5v6, but you're still dead, right? So we don't want to be at a continual disadvantage. Now you're about to come back, somebody else dies, and that's another 12 seconds you can't take a fight, right? And that adds up, right? That adds up, right? Because there's 4 minutes in a match, right? Or per checkpoint. So now you got 12, 12, 12. That's 36, bro. That's half. That's half. Like like that's half of a minute. That's already, you know what I'm saying? Like, You know, so you got to make sure we're not staggering here, paying attention to your team. And damn, they ult here is crazy. They really don't want y'all to walk up. I'd be trying to like, so and about Su ults, I wouldn't be afraid to stand in them just due to the fact that like, if you're not in them, you can't see, and it's not like you take damage. It slows you when you walk in for a few seconds, or like a second or two, and then you're back to normal speed. The only sucky part is your team can't heal you, so if they're really far back, they're probably not gonna walk in. Oh, you probably shouldn't unless you're gonna commit like a lot of your walls to make sure you're living here. Right here, I'd be looking for a deep wall, so I can ult here. Next ult, throw a wall behind them. Nice, good job. That's what I'm talking about. I'd walk up here with my team if they're willing. I wouldn't put my wall in their like direct line of sight because they're gonna just spam your wall and break it. So now you're not gonna have your wall for this fight. Okay, so if you're gonna have it down, like have it in the same spot, you know. Well, come on, throw your walls out. Remember, we want to get our walls behind the Strange so we cut off his healing, his help. Even if it's only for a few seconds, like he's losing healing, he's taking extra damage from the walls, like it adds up, you know. Yes. Oof, we're taking too much damage though. Oh, you had gotten a heal orb right there. Oh. When that's gonna ult probably. I think I saw him put his hand up. You're good, you're good. Stay up, stay up. The moon haunts you. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Damn anti-lock ult. Yeah, y'all are cooked. Oof. He could have got 2 kills there, but he wasn't paying attention. Yeah, but y'all, your team's holding it down. POP. There, we almost have ults again. Stop throwing walls down. They're about to touch point. Yeah, you should have more walls down already. Wall them off from his healers. Come on, use the walls. you should be placing walls as much as you can, right? Like, they're giving you damage. They're cutting off heals. Walls, walls. And then you can melee through shields. So as Groot, the time it takes to melee and then get a next shot out is like pretty like it's like perfectly timed. So you can shoot, punch, shoot, punch, shoot, punch. You know what I'm saying? Like when we make sure you're mixing in those melees, especially against a shield tank, right? Because his melees they're not slow. And then that last melee, I don't know if it'll knock them up through the shield, but when you hit people, it knocks them up with that last one, right? So like really like mixing some melee so you can get that extra damage past the shield, you know, get those walls out, right? Yeah, you definitely could be doing a lot more. So what I noticed going into this second half is definitely using walls more, especially in an aggressive manner, like walling off enemies. That'll stop damage from coming in, as well as that'll cut off their healers because their healers have to see them to heal them. Things like that, especially if they're not going to position in a way where they can see them no matter what. It's going to be hard to break those walls. And just yeah, I think right now if you get better at using your walls, you'll definitely see an increase in how you play for sure. So now we're attacking. This is when the fun really begins. Man said, peace. Peace be upon you. So we know that they have the spiders, so I would try to break the nest before I walk outside. Nice. You know there's a penny behind you. This guy on high ground. So right now I would just not be peeking the I would not be picking the Moon Knight. But where's the Penny? Oh, she got eliminated. Okay, cool. But I would have just like hard focused on fighting the Penny. Then if you fought the Penny, you probably would have seen this guy. You would have helped him out because right now your Banter's probably gonna get ran at. Nope. There you go. Yes. Oh, go for the Moon Knight. He's one shot. He's not anymore. Oh, you're low. Where's your team? Overheating wall. Get yourself out. D-Sog left side. Nice. One shot. Nice. One more. One more. Hit a shot. Let's go. Come on. One more. One more. Nice. Good pursuit. Just be careful about how you do it. You know, just keep your head on a swivel. I know you're on console, so a little harder. Trying to turn that controller. Oh, you're crazy. Nice. Good. I'm glad you know that. I'm glad you know that you can break penny things with your walls. Obviously, just always make sure you shoot it at least once before you do it, just so you can force it to be on cooldown. If you just break it with wall, just like the cart, it'll and if it doesn't take any damage, it'll give it instantly back. Nice, good. I think your strange is down right now, so just kind of chill for a bit, right? Okay, you're down 2. You got to reset. Keep back in. Keep back in. Yeah, you're very unaware of your teammates. There's a setting you could turn on that plays an audio sound anytime somebody on your team dies or they die, and it's obviously a little different. Me personally, I don't hear it loud enough, even though I have it on. But I feel like sometimes it'll kind of give you an idea if someone died or not. And with that being said, just pay attention to your team. If you lose somebody, the fight's basically over 9 times out of 10. So you gotta just give space or just not fight and let them come back. If you're losing more than one, it's definitely over, especially if they haven't lost anything. So unless you can immediately turn it around and get those picks back, you gotta just respect it. As we know, your Strange has been pushing through main most of the time. And he has vertical mobility to get to height if he really needs to. So if I'm you here, I'm pushing through high ground. I'm just kind of controlling that space for my DPS. And if the enemy tanks walk up too much, I can wall them off as well as just kind of commit into their backline here. So I really wouldn't be against you going to high ground, but it seems like we teleported behind them, which does catch this Bucky off guard, which you and your team should be able to eliminate. But ends up working out in your favor, right? A little sneaky little play. Even though personally, I probably wouldn't have used the portal that way. It works out. So by all means. Wall them off. Let them be stuck in. Oof. Oof. You're backing out of the ult. The ult that heals you. Ult into that. Ult into it. Ult. Hey, you did it eventually. And dangerous again. Again. You're taking unnecessary damage. Play corners, man. Natural cover, right? So you're standing right here, everyone can see you, versus if you stand right here, only 2 or 3 can see you, right? So, I mean, you've probably seen it in my other videos, but just in case you have not, right? Boom, diagram. We love diagrams. So the natural cover, right? Natural cover is going to be objects in the game that cannot be broken or can be, but they're going to give you a little bit more basically active health. So if we draw a corner right here, right? And there's an enemy around the corner, angry person, right? He wants to eliminate you, right? But if you play the corner, right? Smart person, very happy. If he shoots the corner, right? Damage will not pass through. So your health will not be effective, right? Now, the way he counters it is he walks around the corner. Now, once he walks around that corner, that no longer exists, and now he can damage your health, right? But then you have walls, right? So now you can be, oh yeah, I can wall. So now, no, it still doesn't affect your HP. He has to break the wall, right? And now when the wall's down, now he can affect your HP, right? So we want to make sure that we're using natural cover, and then off of that, using our cooldowns, right? And using our health as our last resort, because obviously as your health reaches 0, if your health reaches 0, you die, right? So obviously The goal isn't to always be at 100% health, but using these three things is to keep yourself alive as long as possible and allow you to affect the game as much as possible. With that being said, um, there's a lot of times where you're kind of just sitting in the mid. You could be behind cart, you could be playing corners, right? Um, you shouldn't always be taking damage. Why? Because one, it puts a lot of stress on your healers. It doesn't allow them to heal everybody equally. It forces them to dump all the resources into you, as well as you're getting blown up. It puts pressure on you, doesn't allow you to think, as well as every time you die, you can affect your game. And at the end of the day, the most important person to affect your game is you, right? You don't want to leave your results in the hands of other people, right? You want to be the one who's making sure that if you win the game, it's because of you, it's because of your decisions, right? So at least you can look at yourself and go, okay, I'm really good. I need to improve, yada yada, right? But if you're letting them do all the work, you'll never know if you need to improve, if you're good enough for this or that. And when you lose games, you're gonna struggle with it because you're gonna be like, oh, I don't know what's going on, you know. So yeah, just take less damage. Just because you have a lot of health doesn't mean that you're meant to just eat damage. It just allows you to fight for space more efficiently. Nice, good wall in the strange. Come on, you have two more walls. Use them walls. It's a quick wall. I don't care if it's not perfect, but I want to see you use them walls. We traded 1-for-1, and you traded a tank for a healer, so I actually don't think that's a bad trade. Y'all should be fine. Wall them off. Wall them off. Don't allow his team to help. That's another thing too. You know that you're standing in an enemy ult, and if they walk in, they can help their tank. So I would definitely put the walls at the line here so that they can't get into the ult, which means that this ult can probably kill them, as well as they can't assist them in any way. So they have to find ways to get around. Like you're like actively shaping the battlefield as Groot. You know, you gotta think of it in that manner. Always, I'm always changing how the game's gonna be played. Yeah, that one that's just getting hooked. Lack of awareness. You weren't thinking of the Bucky, and you probably didn't hear him activate his hook animation. All right, as we're coming back, we've had our ult for a little bit, so we know that we can use it in this next fight. I think we have the advantage, so we don't have to use it right now. We can just fight with our hands. I'd break the nest. I would have broke the nest real quick to help your team. Wall off that support, or push him, either or. Okay, that's fine too. So right there, like there was a couple of opportunities right there where you could have used wall. Like so you got Moon Knight here. You had, oh my gosh, you had Cloak and Dagger here, right? Wall the doorway. Now Cloak and Dagger can no longer heal Moon Knight, can no longer heal a tank. You wall up the Cloak and Dagger, you fight the Moon Knight. Or if you want to push the Cloak, cool, right? But like throw walls around her, like not like surrounding her, but like throw one wall, right? You walk into that room here. Okay, and walk into that room. She's in the corner. Throw a wall here. Fight her with the wall. Fight her with the wall, right? And it'll do more damage. You ult them here. Throw a wall behind them. Throw a wall that kind of like maybe a little bit above them, right? And do that extra damage. Like the walls are so strong. Like that's what makes Groot so oppressive. Is his walls. You're standing in webs. Nice. That's another thing too you have to think about too is that your walls don't, they also help your team because if your team shoots somebody near the wall while you have them active, right, it's gonna do the same thing. Oof. Again. Oh, stay in the ult. Oh, you're crazy. You're fighting him head on. There's a health pack to your left. There's a health pack to your left and your right. So this is also really important too, understanding understanding the map and knowing things. Because boom, health pack here. Boom, health pack here. Those are two ways that you can get yourself a little bit more healthy if your healers aren't back yet. And there's also a health pack on top of you. I forgot about that one. Right, so if I'm you here, I'm just drifting real quick, grabbing this health pack, and I'm coming back in because right now you are very, very low. You're walking in with no health. Your healer is over there. You wall this guy off. You got two small walls, man. Yeah, he's saying the same thing over. You're gonna get hooked again. Oh! Walls, walls. You have 2 walls. I want to see them get used. Come on, walls. Let's go. Come on, Zim. Come on. Wall again. Wall again. More walls. More walls. They're not allowed here. Ult. Wall. Put a wall down. Let's go. Nice, Sim. You see when you do aggressive plays with your walls, how you're like impacting the fight like a lot, right? Like that's how you gotta be, man. That's how you gotta be. Now, obviously, there's gonna be times where using defensive walls are a good idea, but you know, you definitely got to use them aggressive as well too. Also, you got enough teammates on the cart. I would have set up somewhere. I would have gotten to a weird spot as the Groot to where you can catch somebody off, or you can just hold valuable space. Like you see how your Strain's walking up here to that corner. You could have been there already. You could have had a big wall place so you can build up some extra health because you can build up to like 1,000 health with the shielding. It'd be a chonky boy, thick boy. Oh, too much damage. Like everything you're doing from right here, you can do from behind the wall. Right? Play the corner, man. Play the corner. Wall your teammates off, help. Oof. Item, yes. Nice, good job. Way to nade, knowing that you weren't going to be able to hit him around the corner. That was a good nade. Good job. I wouldn't let them break your wall. Care for the shark ult coming up soon, right? Got to be aware of that. So right now they're popping ults. You traded 1 for 1. Which is still a winnable fight. We ult back. That shark ult's gonna get built pretty soon though. Oh, shark dead. Ult, finish the game. Ult the backline. Throw a wall down and ult. Okay, she got eliminated. Nice. You still have walls left. Still got walls left. Yes, good job. Yes. Nice, 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 nice. All right, and that's going to be the end of the game. So you know what time it is, chat. It's note time. Let's go. All right, so your notes for today, they're pretty simple. I don't need to write everything down, but if you do these 3 things, I promise you, you will rank up. Because these three things are pretty pivotal. And they're gonna make you a hell of a different of a group player. So number 1, more walls, brother. More walls, whether you're using it defensively, right? Hold on, I forgot a letter. Illegal. Yo! Kai's Ali has subscribed on YouTube. Hey, man, y'all know what it is. When somebody subscribes when we're in the middle of the video, we just gonna rock with it. Thank you for the subscription, man. I really do appreciate you and everybody else who supports this channel. With that being said, let's get back into the notes. So, like I said, more walls, man. More walls, more walls. You know, whether it's putting them behind tanks so they're not receiving healing, as well as their team is going to have a harder time doing damage back into you. Whether it's putting your big wall in a nice little spot so you can build up some shielding, because I don't know if it falls off. I'm gonna be really. I think as long as the wall's still up, you'll kind of maintain that extra HP, right? So whether it's making yourself tankier, whether it's walling off enemies so that they can't get help and you can isolate them, right? Like you gotta use your walls more, man. You can also use walls to like take high ground or whatever, or like you know what I'm saying? Like be creative, right? But like the walls are the strongest part of Groot's kit. You gotta use them. You gotta use them. All right, and then after that, we're gonna talk about cover, cooldowns, HP, right? Like you gotta be using those in that order, right? Like using that natural cover so that you're not forced to use your walls right away and you can afford to use them in a more aggressive manner. You know, if you're not using that cover, you're going to be taking so much damage, which is going to force you to have to use your walls defensively all the time. And it's going to limit how much you can. It's going to limit how much you can play make, right? And at the end of the day, you want to be the playmaker, right? And then obviously, by managing your cover, by managing your cooldowns, you're going to be able to manage your HP better, which means less deaths, more pressure, more uptime, which is going to allow you to control the game more, right? And that's what we want here, right? As a plat player, you want to get to diamond, right? So you gotta be ready, right? You gotta be ready to take control of the games and do things in a good way. On top of that, also remember, as an extra note, take into consideration what's bullying you now. If you want to be a group player, cool. What's going to really bully you, Wolverine, what's going to really bully you? As you saw in that game, that Bucky always hooking you in, pulling you into bad spots, right? Now imagine they have a Groot and you're on Groot. Now you're getting hooked in and you're getting walled off, right? So as you go into Diamond, you're going to have to know what to ban if you're going to be playing certain characters. And if you're going to be playing Groot, you probably don't want to play against Bucky. You probably don't want to play against Wolverine. Bucky's a little bit more manageable due to the fact that you can hear him go, right? So you can like put walls in front of you to kind of protect you. Wolverine's a little scarier because even if you do wall him up, he wants to be in your face anyways, and he's going to do that percent damage, right? So you got to be careful. Plus, Wolverine in general is just like really good tank, a really good character into tanks, especially tanks that are not as experienced because you don't know how to play around them properly. And no matter what character you have, if it's gonna shred you, right? So I would always stick with a Wolverine man. Getting into Diamond. And at number three, staggering. Staggering is illegal. If you lose a teammate, 9 times out of 10, like I said, the fight is over unless you can immediately trade it back, right? Or get more value out of that fight. As you play more, you'll learn more and more opportunities that you can do things like that. And with that being said, right? So just make sure that if you lose somebody, you're backing up. If they lose somebody, you're pressing the issue, obviously without throwing, right? But that game, along with probably many other games that you've probably played, even games of my own, people stagger way too much, and staggering will lose you games. You take a one fight loss, right, and you turn it into three, and that's illegal. You can't be letting that happen, right? So somebody, if let's say your Strange gets eliminated and they're walking up, tell your team, yo, we got to back up, we got to back up, use your walls to get out, yada yada yada, right? But don't allow them to get another pick that will extend that stagger and make it so that you have less time to continue playing the game. Alrighty. Now, the VOD is over, right? Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. And that goes to everybody, not just the person this is for. And yeah, hopefully you have a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you may be, whatever time it may be for you. And if you were somebody you know is interested in getting a VOD review done using the link down below in the description, you can join my Discord. You can put a little request in the VOD review request or submission channel. I don't know what it's called, but you'll see it. You're smart enough. And yeah, until next time, take care. Peace.